part of the Galactic Council, and tonight it glowed with lights and laughter. Music filled the air. Thousands of beings from different planets were gathered in the Grand Hall. Tall aliens with silver skin, short ones with bright eyes, and even creatures made of pure energy floated in the crowd. They were all there to celebrate a great victory. After many years of war, the enemy empire, the Draxion Horde, was finally defeated. Peace had returned to the galaxy. Chancellor Vereen stood on the high stage, her voice full of pride. "Today," she said, "we end the darkness. We begin a new era of peace." The crowd cheered. Glasses were raised. Fireworks lit the sky outside the hall. Every screen across the galaxy showed the celebration. For the first time in years. There was hope, but then something strange happened. Without warning, the music stopped. The lights dimmed. A red warning light flashed above the stage. The screens that were showing fireworks now showed a message in bold letters. "Unknown fleet detected. Orbiting council space." People looked around in confusion. Some thought it was a mistake. Others thought it was a joke. But then the defense alarm rang, loud and sharp. The celebration turned to silence. Military officers ran into the hall. They spoke quickly to the Chancellor. Her face turned pale. She stepped away from the stage and whispered to her assistant, "Where's it from?" The assistant looked down at the tablet in his hands and said, "Origin. Earth." At first, no one understood. Earth? That old world. It had been gone for centuries. A long time ago, Earth had been part of the Council, but humans had become too violent, too dangerous. Their wars were brutal. Their science was wild. They didn't follow rules. So the Council exiled them, cut all contact, and left them behind. Earth was marked as non-Council, lost in the shadows. Now it was back. In orbit above Council space, hundreds of dark ships floated in silence. They did not respond to messages. They did not power any weapons. They just waited. The crowd in the Grand Hall began to panic. Some ran to the exits. Others tried to call their families. The peace they had celebrated just minutes ago now felt like a lie. It felt like a dream breaking into pieces. General Threx, leader of the Council Defense, forces stood before the Council leaders. "We need to send a scout ship," he said. "Just one, see what they want." The Chancellor nodded. "And if they don't respond, then we prepare for war," the general said. A small scout ship was launched. It moved carefully toward the Earth fleet. Every eye in the galaxy watched as the ship sent a message. "This is the Galactic Council. State your purpose." No answer. The scout ship repeated the message. Still silence. Then, without warning, the signal from the scout ship disappeared. Gone. Not destroyed, not blocked, just erased. One moment it was there, the next it was nothing. People across the galaxy held their breath. "What kind of power can do that?" one council member asked. No one answered. Back in the hall, fear spread like wildfire. The celebration had ended in the worst way possible. The council had believed the war was over. They believed they were safe. But now an old ghost had returned, and Earth had not come to celebrate. It had come in silence. The Chancellor looked out the tall glass window, where the stars now looked cold and still. Far in the sky, tiny dark shapes hung in orbit. So many ships, so much silence. She turned to her council. "We forgot them. We erased them from our minds. But they did not forget us." The lights dimmed again. Outside, the city streets were quiet. The laughter was gone. The music was gone. Only one feeling remained: fear. And the Earth fleet watched, waiting. The scout ship never came back. Not a single signal. Not a trace. People across the galaxy watched the news with wide eyes and silent mouths. The great Galactic Council, strong, proud, and united, was now confused and scared. Then, suddenly, one of the escape pods from the missing scout ship was found floating far outside orbit. It was cracked, burned, but inside was a survivor. His face was pale. His eyes stared into nothing. He whispered just one sentence before he passed out. They're not the same anymore. They changed, and they remember everything. Main story points. The council is split. Chancellor Vereen calls an emergency meeting. Some leaders say, Earth should be greeted again, maybe they've come in peace. Others shout back, peace? They erased a ship without firing a single shot. The room fills with fear and shouting. History returns like a storm. A young historian, Kahlo, is called to speak. He explains that centuries ago, Earth was removed from the council because they were too unpredictable. They were brilliant, but dangerous, he says. They didn't believe in limits. When the rules didn't suit them, they made their own. He opens a file marked Classified, Human Exile. The council had buried the truth. Earth wasn't just pushed out. It was attacked, and it survived. The survivor wakes up briefly. The scout ship's pilot regains consciousness. His voice shakes. They looked like machines. No faces, just cold metal and red eyes. But they spoke like humans. They said, you threw us into the dark, so we made the dark ours. A test of strength, the council sends another small unmanned drone. It doesn't even get close. One Earth ship releases a silent pulse. The drone melts mid-space, without any fire, without any noise. Just gone. A message appears on the council's largest screen, written in sharp letters. This is the only warning you get. Galaxy on edge. Panic begins across multiple planets. Some governments hide. Others prepare their weapons. One leader, in fear, asks, if this is what their scouts can do, what are their warships waiting for? Closing suspense for next part. Late at night, the historian Kahlo opens a secret council archive. He finds an old file from 400 years ago. Inside is a council war order. Operation Silent Chains, initiate human exile, destroy their cities, and block all contact. Kahlo stares at the last line of the document. No one must ever learn what was done to Earth. Now Earth has returned, and it knows everything. The Galactic Council sent a small drone to scan one of the Earth ships. It moved slowly, carefully. Everyone across the galaxy watched the live feed. The Earth ship stayed still, silent. No weapons activated. Then suddenly, the drone stopped. Not exploded, not disabled, just frozen mid-space. A wave of static hit the Council's systems. For 2 seconds, all lights flickered. Screens turned black. Then a symbol appeared, sharp, red and glowing. It was the old flag of Earth. A message appeared under it. You looked away, we evolved. The feed ended. Main story points. Fear spreads among the leaders. Chancellor Vereen meets in secret with top generals. They don't need weapons, one says. They are the weapons now. Some leaders demand Earth be destroyed before it's too late. Others say it's already too late. The historian returns with secrets. Kahlo, the young historian, reveals what he found in the secret files. He shows images of Earth after the exile. Cities in flames, skies burning, humans abandoned by the Council. But humans didn't die. They adapted. Old enemies speak. One alien commander who fought in the human exile war speaks up. They were the fiercest soldiers I ever saw. They fought with fire in their eyes. They never gave up. He adds, if they're back, they're not here to talk. A dark experiment revealed in the hidden files. The Council learns of a forgotten experiment. Project Ghostmind. Humans began uploading their minds into machines. They became part AI, part human. No sleep, no fear, just memory. And anger. Strange signals begin across the galaxy. Earth's fleet sends encrypted messages in old human languages. Council systems try to decode them, but each message causes a system crash. Then one message is decoded by accident. It reads, "You taught us silence. Now hear our voice." Closing suspense for next part. The Earth fleet powers up slowly, not with weapons, but with light. Blue and red glows move across the black ships like veins. They begin to shift position, forming a wall around the Council's homeworld. One single ship breaks formation and moves closer. No weapons show, no communication, just slow, cold movement. Inside, the Grand Hall, Chancellor Vereen says quietly. They're not coming for war, she pauses. They're coming for memory. Galaxy turned black. Devices stopped working. Security networks failed. Military systems went silent. And then, one voice spoke, deep and calm. Human, but not quite. We did not forget. We did not forgive. This time, we decide who survives. The message played in every language, on every world. The galaxy froze. The silence after the message was louder than any war drum. Main story points. A name list is received. Earth's fleet sends a file to the Council, just names. Some are current leaders. Others have been dead for centuries. The common link? Every name belonged to someone who voted to exile Earth or carried out the attack against humanity. Council panic. Some try to hide. Some deny the list is real. One general commits suicide. Another flees the system. The Council realizes Earth didn't return to conquer. It returned to judge. One planet speaks out. A small neutral planet, Laura Seth, sends a message to the Earth fleet. We were not part of your exile. We ask for peace. Earth responds instantly. Then stay silent and live. The Laura Seth system goes dark, not destroyed, shielded from view. Earth is making examples, without bloodshed. Internal rebellion begins on several Council worlds. Citizens rise up. Why did you lie about Earth? They ask. Some demand the Council surrender before Earth strikes. Others join in preparing defenses. Kalo speaks to the people. The historian Kalo gives a message to the galaxy. This isn't a war between planets. It's between truth and lies. We exiled Earth for being dangerous, but we never asked why they were dangerous. Maybe they were just better at surviving. Closing suspense for next part. Inside Earth's lead ship, a glowing chamber is shown. Human minds, digital and eternal, float. Strange tubes. Their voices echo in unison. Forgiveness was offered once, it was burned. This time, there will be balance. Back on the Council's homeworld, one final message arrives. It contains one sentence and a countdown. You have 72 hours to decide. Sir, the countdown had started. On every Council planet, on every ship, on every screen. 72 Axu blinked. In cold red numbers. People tried to go on with normal life, but they couldn't. Shops were empty. Streets were quiet. Families stayed indoors, eyes fixed on screens. Everyone was waiting for something to happen, and everyone knew it would. Main story points. Desperate Council meeting. Chancellor Vereen meets with leaders and generals. Can we fight them? Someone asks. A military AI runs the numbers. The answer comes back in seconds. 0.8% chance of survival. An ancient scientist speaks. Dr. Harnex, one of the last people alive who once worked on the Exile project, appears in front of the Council. His hands shake. I warned them. I told them not to attack Earth. I told them humans don't break, they evolve. He pauses and says, we didn't exile them. We created them. Internal chaos protests erupt across Council planets. Some citizens beg Earth for forgiveness. Others demand war. Council soldiers shoot into crowds on one world. Earth responds by blacking out the planet for 3 minutes. No electricity, no light, no data. Then everything returns, except every military officer who fired is gone. Vanished. A strange message to Kalo. The young historian Kalo receives a message from an unknown source. It reads, you spoke the truth. You may speak again. He is taken aboard one of Earth's ships. The Council loses track of him. Inside the Earth ship, Kalo walks through dark, smooth halls. Machines move quietly. Screens show images of Earth, past, present, future. He meets a human figure, part flesh, part machine. The voice speaks. You want to understand us. Then listen. Closing suspense for next part. The countdown reaches 48 crowns. The council prepares a message of surrender, but before they can send it, all screens are overridden again. A face appears, young, human, calm. We are not here to destroy you. We are here to show you who you truly are. And then across the galaxy, one by one, hidden records begin to leak. War crimes, betrayals, lies. Not from Earth, from the Council. The real fear begins. Screens across the galaxy lit up again. Not with threats, not with silence, but with truth. Secret. Council documents. Videos of old wars. Files showing Earth's exile wasn't because of danger, but because the Council feared competition. Feared how fast humans learned. Feared how humans refused to kneel. Feared what humans could become. Now the galaxy watched as every lie was torn open, and Earth never fired a single shot. Main story points. The people turn against the Council on dozens of planets. Citizens. You lied to us. You started the war. You made us fear ghosts and while hiding monsters in your own house. Statues of old Council heroes are torn down. Broadcast towers show only one thing now. The truth about Earth. Kalo speaks from the Earthship. The historian appears on a galaxy-wide feed. They came in silence, because they knew words had failed before. But now, they've shown us. Not who they are, but who we've become. A strange gift is delivered. Earth sends a single black cube to the Council. No ships move, no demands made. The cube contains data, blueprints for free energy, cures for old diseases, and maps of galaxies the Council never reached. One Council member whispers, "They came to destroy us, but they're offering a future?" The Council cracks leaders argue. Some want to accept Earth's offer. Others still cling to fear. One says, "They're just playing with us." Another replies, "No, we played ourselves for centuries. They're just holding up the mirror." An offer is made. The countdown reaches 24 hours. Then, it stops. A message appears. "We don't want your surrender. We want your honesty. Broadcast the full truth. Admit what was done, step down, and let your people decide what comes next." Closing suspense for next part, Chancellor. Vireen walks to the Council's broadcast room. She looks into the camera. Her hands shake. Behind her, the stars are quiet. Earth's ships still wait, still silent. She takes a breath and says, "People of the galaxy, there is something you need to know." The screen fades to black, and the final message appears. Truth is not the end. It is the beginning. Screens across the galaxy lit up again, not with threats, not with silence, but with truth. Secret Council documents. Videos of old wars. Files showing Earth's exile wasn't because of danger, but because the Council feared competition. Feared how fast humans learned. Feared how humans refused to kneel. Feared what humans could become. Now the galaxy watched as every lie was torn open, and Earth never fired a single shot. Main story points. The people turn against the Council. On dozens of planets, citizens rise. You lied to us. You started the war. You made us fear ghosts and while hiding monsters in your own house. Statues of old Council heroes are torn down. Broadcast towers show only one thing now. The truth about Earth. Kalo speaks from the Earthship. The historian appears on a galaxy-wide feed. They came in silence, because they knew words had failed before. But now, they've shown us. Not who they are, but who we've become. A strange gift is delivered. Earth sends a single black cube to the Council. No ships move, no demands made. The cube contains data, blueprints for free energy, cures for old diseases, and maps of galaxies the Council never reached. One Council member whispers, "They came to destroy us, but they're offering a future?" The Council cracks leaders argue. Some want to accept Earth's offer. Others still cling to fear. One says, "They're just playing with us." Another replies, "No, we played ourselves for centuries. They're just holding up the mirror." An offer is made. The countdown reaches 24 hours. Then, it stops. A message appears. "We don't want your surrender. We want your honesty. Broadcast the full truth. Admit what was done, step down, and let your people decide what comes next. Closing suspense for next part, Chancellor. Virene walks to the Council's broadcast room. She looks into the camera. Her hands shake. Behind her, the stars are quiet. Earth's ships still wait, still silent. She takes a breath and says, "People of the galaxy, there is something you need to know." The screen fades to black and the final message appears. Truth is not the end, it is the beginning. It was not proud, it was honest. We feared Earth. We tried to erase them. We lied to all of you, to ourselves. The message shook the stars. The Council's secrets were out, and Earth had not fired a single weapon, yet they had won, not with war, with truth. Main story points. The Council falls one by one. Council members resign or are removed. Some are arrested by their own people. Protests stop. Celebrations begin. The old flag of the Council is taken down. In its place, a simple symbol rises. A planet in shadow, now glowing. Human ships finally speak. After days of silence, Earth's fleet sends a final message. We came not to rule, but to remind. You, what you cast out survives. What you fear grows, what you hide always returns. We remember, but we are not your enemy, unless you choose to make us one. New alliances begin. Earth opens communication, not just with governments, but with people. Scientists, students, workers from every world are invited to visit and learn. Earth offers knowledge, not orders. The galaxy changes, a new council forms, one not ruled by fear, but by shared voice. Earth does not join as a leader. They join as a warning. Never again repeat the past. Kalo returns home. The young historian walks back on his world, watched by millions. When asked what Earth really is, he says, "They are what happens when you try to break something that refuses to die." He smiles. They are the fire you threw away, that came back as a sun. Final closing scene. Epic ending. The camera pans across the stars. Earth's ships begin to move, leaving orbit, returning home. But they leave behind something greater, a galaxy that finally sees. A child watches the ships vanish into the stars and asks, "Will they come back?" An old man answers, "They never really left, we just stopped listening."